Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Cancer. So tonight, right now, is the new moon and the sun in your sign. We are 0%. It happened to be that I am able to do the reading exactly when the new moon is really 0%. And so you are alone on the stage. You are now in the sun and the moon, respectively. You had a difficult time to be in the sun because you are ruled by the moon, and you're the fourth house of friends and family, and you feel comfortable being in your surrounding, right? You don't like to be too much in the light, in that where you kind of be looked at. So here you are getting today your reading. This moment is a very special moment. You can plant a seed, right? You can really say, okay, what do I want? Because now we go from this deep within again out to the right into the full moon, and the full moon is in your opposite sign, which is Capricorn, and Capricorn is gonna give you then in 6 months the light. And so we're gonna see the path out to Capricorn from today on. The yoga position for you is Asana, high lounge, and here you are yourself, the horse, and you see how he is like a Buddha holding the Holy Grail, and his success is to be basically the bringer of love, right? It's a very beautiful energy. You're the healer of all healers, because you're the Queen of Cups, right? Here in Aleister Crowley's cards, we barely see you. You emerge, you become part of the water. If your birthday is between June 10th and July 12th, then this is your court card, right? If not, look in the description below. I have listed all the cards there, the cards that I'm using, on what position. And so we're gonna look what the message is gonna be today. We go back also to the last reading just to connect, because everything is circular. Gemini Sun and Cancer Moon. The High Priestess brings a new beginning to the game called life. Just have to take that away. It's a little too strong. So we had the High Priestess immediately on the position of the Fool, and on the world we have the Fool, and in between we had the Crown Games. So let's see. Today you have no other sign speaking to you except you speaking to yourself, and we begin the reading on the position of the Fool. We have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is coming down as that truth, as that one. The 1 and the 0 is a 10, and so here you are being called to recognize that thought that wants to come to you, a very important thought. So really be vigilant, be aware, be conscious, because something wants to tell you something quite important. On the position of the Magician comes here the Time Master. The Time Master is the number 57. We have a 5 and a 7. The 5 is the Hierophant, the 7 is you, the Chariot. You want to know with the 1 of the Magician, because when we calculate it together, right, the 5 and the 7 becomes a 12, and the 1 with the Magician is a 13, that here something is ending. Something is like, that's it, the 1, that one sword, that one idea, that's one thing that is coming to you. And you see how the Time Master is looking into the right spinning path, which is now the path that you're taking to the full moon. When we go to the new moon, from the full moon to the new moon, we go left, we go deep within, we go soul. Here we go human. And so you have the number 12. Here's the time master, right? You learning through the 5 senses that the 7th sense, the 7th chakra, or the success that you bringing through that deep love that you have experienced, right? By combining all that you learned here with that one, the magic that is in your life, that the 13 becomes a 4, that the 1 and the 3 is the magician and the empress, and that something here is ending but also beginning, right? And time doesn't exist, and so we're gonna continue and see what's wanting to talk to you. On the position of the High Priestess comes here the 5 of Cups, and the High Priestess is the number 2, and here's the number 5 calculated together. It's the 7, which is of course the Chariot, right? The 7th chakra. But also on the Kabbalistic tree of life, it's a weak spot, right? Sometimes we think we have arrived spiritually, and then all of a sudden this deep sadness is crashing down, and it's saying the Lord of loss in pleasure. And this is always Mars in Scorpio, right? And Mars in Scorpio is then the 13 that we got here when we calculated it together, right? With the 1, the magician. So we got the 13, which became the 4 elements, the responsibility. And so here's a 7. Be conscious about how you work with your intuition, how you work your sadness, because sadness is necessary for us to grow and to continue our path. And he is looking at this sadness, and he's looking at the inverted pentagram. Penta, the head, is facing down. But this is the feminine aspect, right? The passiveness sometimes that we need when we let go of things. On the position then of the Empress comes here the High Priestess, and this is a 5 as well, and the High Priestess is looking as well at the 5, and so 2 people are looking from 2 different perspectives at this sadness. One, the human path, which is the spin of the earth around its own axis in every 24 hours, and then the soul path, which is the wobble the earth does in 25,800 years. And we divide it through the 12 zodiac signs and get an age. And in that age of 2,150 years, what is formed? A religion, an ideology. And so we go from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. And so the High Priestess is seeing something is letting go, right, is sad. Letting go sometimes it's not easy, but it's necessary, it's wanted, it's needed. So you are called to really take care of that. And the 3 and the 2 creates a 5. So you have a 5-5 portal here, right? And you have a 5 in the 57. So we see, right, the High Priestess is intuitive, and she knows how to handle this 5, and now you're getting even through the Empress that gives birth to the intuition now that you are able to handle that. Now comes on the position of Cancer, the Chariot, in the Sun, here the Princess of Wands. These are all 3 fire signs, right? Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So here comes the 7 and the 3 zodiac signs, creates a 10, right? A new cycle, a 1. And so you're learning to understand that this one thought is bringing you now an understanding that Cancer in the Sun is letting you know, well, take action with all the emotions that you have deep within you, because you're holding the Holy Grail, and he sits in a meditative position. And so here comes the young generation that is letting you know, hey, take action, go for this step out again. You've been deep down inside and now you go out again. And you can do it. Because on the position of the Queen of Cups, right, of Aleister Crowley here, comes the King of Cups, which is Scorpio. And so Scorpio water sign is saying, well, I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you the hand. I'm going to give you what you need. I am here. I support you because I am a water sign as well, right? And so two water signs, the Queen and the King, create a union. It's almost like it's saying, well, the sun is that masculine and the moon is that feminine, and now both are in your sign, and now create a union deep within you, because you need that. You need that very much. Because then on the position of Cancer again in the moon, this card of the Princess of Cups is coming up, and that's all three water signs. So here we have Cancer, we have Scorpio, and we have Pisces, and we are in the age of Pisces right now, going into the age of Aquarius. And so Cancer in the moon is saying, well, go deep, deep down into your subconscious, go deep down into your past. Because when you dive deep down, right, with the Queen and with the King, you're going to recognize now there's a whole new world opening up to you, because now you're really going to go out there. Because now you're going to take that first step out into Libra, right? And so usually comes Leo, but in Aleister Crowley, he put Libra on the position of Leo, right? Next month, the sun goes into Leo, and then you get your next reading by Leo, right, as the inspiration. So the thing here, it's no, you gotta first find your equilibrium, and you get the Princess of Swords. Now, interesting enough, you had here the Princesses of Wands, all three fire signs, and you have the Princesses of Cups, all three water signs. Now you get all air signs, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. It's only missing the three earth signs, right? But it's like you have 9 signs here, and it's a young generation. It's almost like you're working with the young generation, and you need help to do that, right? You need that masculinity that is helping you to take care of all these young generations. And so here there's an equilibrium happening by understanding that here the Libra understanding of the harmony that we bring in the way we think, in the way we do things, comes this young generation and is telling you, yeah, we're gonna help you, we're gonna be there and show you the way. Then comes on the position of the Hermit, the Virgo month, the Queen of Swords, which is a Libra. The Queen of Swords coming here, letting you know that one sword that you got on the position of the Fool is that one sword that also can point up. So this sword is pointing down, this sword is pointing up. And here we have the young generation of swords, right? So there's swords, swords, swords. So there's a lot of new type of thoughts coming to you, letting you know, well, take care of that thought, that original thought that you had as that foolish idea. Take care of it, because the Time Master is like, well, let's continue the path forward into the full moon, into the outer world. Let's show yourself. And so here comes the Libra energy, is telling you, well, as a queen, right, you sometimes tend to be very emotional. I'm going to help you to cut those emotions, right, and to know that you gotta go forward. And that's happening deep within when you retrieve, when you become like the Hermit, right? This kind of like, well, I know deep within myself there's this completion, and you see that there is then help coming. On the position of the Wheel of Fortune comes here this girl that is dreaming, the Sleeping Beauty's dream, the number 3. So this is the 10, the Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter, and the 3 creates a 13, right? And you had Scorpio here, right? And you had a 13 here with the Time Master and the Magician. You had that transformation through time. And now you are going to dream of, what are you dreaming of? Because you're holding a small little bird in your left hand, in your intuitive side, and you are going to recognize the 4, the stability in building a castle of your dreams, right? And that you want to bring something here in this world, and you thinking about, right, the Sleeping Beauty's dream. Because then on the position of Leo comes the 4 of Cups. And the 4 of Cups is, again, with the 5 of Cups, 9 cups, right? And this is Moon in Cancer. So Moon in Cancer is letting you know, go deep down in your emotions with the lust, because Aleister Crowley created out of Leo lust. It's not just like, okay, it's not strength, it's lust. She's sitting on this lion and she's riding it. And somehow, sometimes the 4 of Cups is like you're bored and you like need new stimulation. And I think you are getting it, right? In the month of Leo, in the next month, is speaking to you here, this card, but it's on the position of 11. Where usually Libra is, right? And so 4 and the number 11, which is a portal, creates a 15, and the 15 is Capricorn, opposite of you, which gives you the light on the full moon then in 6 months. So here you are going towards a very interesting journey, and you are pushing yourself. You are dreaming of something that also the Sleeping Beauty's dream sometimes is crazy, right? But it's that I want something quite significant. Because then on the position of the Hanged Man comes the number 33, the Malachite, with the Hanged Man, which is the 12, right? And that's a 3, that's the Empress, combined through the Magician and the High Priestess. And the 33 is, of course, the portal to go, when you go deep down into your emotions, when you let yourself hang upside down, very important that you recognize that, is that the Malachite has the power to bring to you the feeling that you are really ready to have clarity in the way you think. That's why you got the sword and your feelings. Then you get the right use of your mind, and your integration of thinking and intuition is established. And that's where this came up, right? Your intuition came, the 5 of Cups, and the 5 of Cups is quite a deep sadness. Mars in Scorpio, you had Scorpio, the King of Cups, and so allow to see that something is helping you. When you feel bored, when you feel like, okay, something is pushing on your strength and you don't think you have the strength anymore to go deeper and to look deeper, you will get help always, right? Through this crystal, through the number 33. And so the 11 and the 4, the 13, right, is bringing you, watch how you see things and how you work with things, because when you get to the light on the full moon, right, you're going to notice that this is disappearing, that this is leaving, and that the 33 with the 12 is a 3-3-3 portal, 3 times the 3, right? So you recognize here is something talking to you in a very powerful way, a very emotional way. 3 times 3 is like to be empowered in your 3rd chakra. And so recognize that and see that. On the position then of death card, right? Scorpio, which the King of Cups has come, and we had 2 times the 13 comes the Sun. And the Sun right now in Cancer is letting you know, well, you can succeed if you dive deeper into the love, dive deeper down, and let go of what you think you should hold on to. Because here the 13 becomes a 4, the 19 becomes a 10, the 4 and the 10 is a 14. That's Temperance, that Sagittarius, right? That moment where we recognize, well, I have to find in the month of Scorpio a little bit more of a temperance state of consciousness, right? And that is what's asked from you sometimes, because temperance is not something a lot of people like, right? Because Sagittarius is that, oh, I go outside and I have fun. But the Sun then goes down in Scorpio, and it's almost like we recognize that it's getting darker and darker, right? And so here, the cycle of life, the rose that is so beautiful is already decaying, is already dying. Very interesting to see that. Because then, on the position of Temperance comes Scorpio, the death card, the sunset. And so he's walking into the sunset. He sees the sun. It's almost like here you're getting now very interesting, the opposite, right? So the art is to let go. The art is to know that everything comes and goes, and that you, on the path to the full moon, you're learning to really deeply let go. Also the things that you think that you're proud of, because you know and you understand the art of combining the dualities, right? The dualities that are here coming through this sunset and the sun here. It's really interesting. It's almost like, right, he's walking from the future here into this card. And then on the position of the Devil comes here the 7 of Cups. Now you have 5 cups and 4 cups. And 9 cups plus 7 is 16, is the Tower, right? And so the Tower is literally that I gotta let go. I really gotta let go. Then in the month of Capricorn, when I have my full moon, I am showing myself, I am exposing myself totally to the point where I'm again dying, where I'm letting go, where I see that the illusion of the 7 of Cups is here to bring you that your instinct and the choices that you have is to be vigilant, because 16 creates a 7. So then you have arrived at yourself. You have arrived at the Holy Grail. You have done the journey into Capricorn month when you get your full moon, and then you recognize the 7 portal with you, right? Even though this is a 15, it's a 6, and 6 and 7 is then, of course, the 13 again is the death. So as the moment you have the full moon, you have it for maybe an hour. Right now you have a new moon for 1 hour, and it's already then, maybe after this reading, it's just like 0.01% again getting to the light. And so the journey already is beginning, right? The Devil is saying, well, keep on going, right? I'm going to give you the light, but immediately when you get the light, it's almost like it's an illusion, and then it's already gone. Wow. Then on the position of the moon, you get a dream oracle. You get the dust devil, the 15, exactly. You get the dust devil moving out of stagnation, thinking that you have arrived, thinking that you have arrived here in the full moon, and everything is, wow, again, it's just leaving. And so the dust devil is literally saying, well, here's the 15. The 15 is a 6, right? And so that's it. It's continuing in the month of Capricorn, that it's going down, that it's ending, and that something is moving out of stagnation, right? It's almost like you wanted to go to that full moon, but now it's time to go again back deep within into the new moon that you're feeling right now, right? So it's almost like it's immediately saying, well, you continue the path back with this 6, and of course this is a 9, and that's a 15. So there's a 6 talking to you. The light is getting strong here as a 6 because it's getting dark outside. We have a lot of clouds today for your reading. Then on the position of the sun, which is in your sign, right? And of course on the position of the moon, which is also in your signs, you had the 15 here, right, Capricorn, and you have the 16 here, which is the mountain, which is the 7. And then 19 is a 10, and here the 16 is a 7. You have the 17, which is the age of Aquarius. Then you're up in the mountain, you're sleeping, and you're recognizing now the path has been climbed, right? And 10 and the 7 is the 17 is an 8, and the infinite cycle continues. It's just almost like saying, well, now you've been here in the 7 and then in the 6, and now it continues to go further, because it's with the 10 and the 7, it's an 8, right? And so the 8 is that infinite cycle that is continuing. It's challenging you again and again. The sun is there, but we're spinning around the sun. The sun is the center. And on the position of the Aeon comes now here the Lifuma healing oracle, the moon, the number 39, which becomes a 12, recognize, right? And so the Aeon is the number 20, the 39 becomes the 12, and that's then a 32. That's a 5, and the 5 senses that sadness that you had here, to know that, yeah, things are constantly changing and shifting. And so I'm going to read you this card. It's very beautiful here. The moon's tune rolls round the heavens, toying with emotions through every revolution. The moon's tune hammers round the heavens, destroying our emotions to bring us evolution, sweeping down and sweeping through us, sweeping up and clinging to us, with feelings that don't have a place or fit our space, but settle and build a home inside us. Recognize the feelings that don't belong. Refuse to home the broken song. You can stop the video and read it yourself. And it's really beautiful, right? It's almost like saying, yes, well, the moon continues now, shifting, right? The Capricorn is here, the 15, the dust devil. It's like, okay, so it's just a fragment of moments, and then it shifts and changes, and you thought you have arrived, and that journey out up to the mountain, to the full moon, is heavy. It's paved with a lot of emotions and feelings, particularly the 5 and the 4, which is a 9, and then the 7, which becomes the 16, and that's the Tower, and that's just like letting go. And then of course the 16 becomes a 7. So you have arrived in a way, right? You have done that journey, because then the Fool is coming again. You had the Fool last time in Gemini Sun, and now you get it again. The 0 and the 3, the 21, of course, which becomes a 3. You are starting then to recognize, then you begin a whole new cycle again with the moon. And you have learned something, and you can step off that cliff, and you can see that maybe where you're stepping in is that one clear thought that's coming down, and you know that you're coming down, and you know that everything is beginning again from the beginning. The clock is ticking, even though there is not really time. It's just a new cycle again, back to the new moon, from the new moon to the full moon, and from the full moon back to the new moon. You're taking that step into that nothingness, because that's what the world needs. You being open, you being ready to let yourself fall, to let yourself be, to arrive at yourself. I mean, how crazy is that? And to know that everything is an illusion. Everything is an illusion again and again and again, right? And there are people laughing down there, and then people are crying, and everything repeats itself, and you are recognizing the importance of just being aware that all of that is happening. So I wish you a beautiful new moon meditation, because it's happening right now. Let go of something, right? And start now the journey outwards again. And of course, I hope I see you in the next reading, because you have the Four of Waters on the position of Leo, and the Earth is spinning in such a way that we see behind the Sun the constellation Leo, and the Four of Waters came, which is Moon in Cancer, in the month where the Sun is in Leo. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.